Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place that you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Friday, so we're here with Tech Life Weekly. I'm here with my co-host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. Sit back, relax. We're getting ready to talk tech in English. Uh, we, we hope to be joined shortly by our co-contributors, Miss Terry Johnson online, all the way from New York City, Dr. Tachi, all the way from Florida. We are looking forward to their contributions. But in the meantime, let's find out what's happening this week in tech. We want to give a shout out to all of y'all who are watching on the replay. Let us know what you think. We love hearing from you. Hi, Fran. What's up?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. So, this week in tech history, I love history. I thought you all would like tech history since we're talking tech. And let's start back here. Man, there's a lot of stuff went on that happened in tech. I'm starting right here. The breakup of Microsoft, that never happened. June 7th, 2000, United States District Judge Thomas Penfield Jackson orders the breakup of Microsoft into two companies, one that will develop operating systems and one that will develop other applications. Microsoft immediately announces that it will file an appeal of the judgment. What would have been a monumental event in the history of the technology industry never actually happens, however. The ruling is overturned just 1 year later. Microsoft will be sanctioned, but it stays one company. I was like, hey, TJ.
Hello. Oh, new hair. I love it.
I gotta get it cut, but okay.
Oh, okay. I love it.
Thank you. One processor to rule them all. Well, back to the Microsoft story. A lot of people who don't understand what people do try to
regulate on it.
Right. And they didn't understand anyway.
Okay.
And it was one judge orders the breakup of Microsoft into two companies. One for software. I don't understand that Microsoft does software. So, okay. That just didn't make sense to me. So anyway, but there's a lot of people in the government who don't understand what technology is about and what technology does. So
they don't
get it. June 8th, 1978, Intel introduces the 16-bit 8060 processor with clock speeds of 10, 8, and 5 megahertz.
Whoa, we're rocking.
The 886 would become the basis for the series of processors used in IBM compatible PCs, and the x86 family, later marketed under the name Pentium, would dominate the market in the PC era. Ironically, however, it was the modified 8-bit 8088 processor that was used in the original IBM PC, primarily due to factors that would reduce overall costs. The current line of Intel Core processors are still based on the same architecture that was introduced with the 8086. Okay. Life Finds a Way, June 9th, 1993. The motion picture Jurassic Park premieres in Washington, D.C., the highest grossing film in history at the time. The contributions of Jurassic Park to the field of special effects is perhaps as important as the original Star Wars movie 16 years prior. During the production of the movie, the decision was made to incorporate the use of computer-generated imagery, CGI for short, in large-scale and they use CGI in large scale. I guess you would have to because the dinosaurs were big. Okay. By interweaving the use of CGI and animatronics, the movie's special effects were of a realism unprecedented at the time and for many still to this day. Jurassic Park started a wave of movies that made heavy use of CGI throughout the rest of the 90s. And at present, the use of CGI pioneered by the movie is now entirely commonplace. So the Matrix got its start from there too. All of the CGI based stuff. She did taking pictures with her new iPad Pro.
I'm trying. This is a part of today's show. I'm just looking at it.
Okay, great.
And see, I am using my new Magic keyboard over here.
Oh, okay.
Using it. I'm telling you, we're going to talk about that later.
You love it? You love it?
Okay. I have not taken my MacBook Air with me anywhere these last 2 weeks.
Wow.
Oh.
Crossing the Atlantic with cable. This is what we talk about all the time. June 10th, 1858, people. 1858. Two ships head out to begin work on what will become the first operational transatlantic cable. Previous attempts at laying a transatlantic cable had failed. Designed for telegraph operation, the cable run is completed on August 5th, and the first test message is sent on August 12th. However, the cable fails on September 18th, and repair was not possible at that time. We are still running on that same cable.
That's just hard for me to just fathom. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's still under the ocean. At least we can get to it now.
Okay, that's good.
But it is still the same cable that it powers everything. We think we're wireless. We're not really.
Right.
This is a quick one. June 11th, 1978, Texas Instruments Incorporated introduces the Speak and Spell, a talking educational toy for children.
I have one of those in the
Remember that? Yeah.
I still have it, and every once in a while I pull it up with the grandkids.
The device features the first electronic duplication of the human voice on a single chip of silicon. It transformed digital information processed through a filter into synthetic speech and could store more than 100 seconds of linguistic sounds. Speak and spell. I was like, wow, speak and spell. And our last story, June 12, 1967, the Soviet probe Venera 4 is successfully launched. On October 18, 1967, it will enter Venus's atmosphere, where it will become the first space probe to successfully return atmospheric data from another planet.
Okay.
That's your week in tech history.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really involved in the crossing with the Atlantic and the CGI story. But okay, meanwhile, back at our new toys, Terry's got the new Pro. I got the
yeah. Brenda says she never played with the Speak and Spell, so
yeah.
No?
she remembers it being advertised.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I had that. Look, she went back. The Teddy
Ruxpin.
My kids had that. Yep.
It's better than that crazy cat we saw.
Oh, girl, that Felix thing with the
with the eyes.
No, I'm talking about that weird pet that they made that's supposed to be your friend in the house. I was like, who does this? That was creepy.
Mm-hmm. I think it was a Japanese thing. I don't know. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
It was a creepy little cat. I'm just saying, if you got to have the thing just sits there and looks at you. Your friend is folding clothes. You want to call her? I was like, this is weird.
Oh my gosh.
So, some of us got some new toys, and
Mhm.
I'd like to say that I have been using my iPad Pro. I have the iPad Pro 3rd generation, and it works. And it's okay. Here's the thing: when you upgrade the what is it? The software?
What do you mean? The OS?
When you upgrade, when they give you the
Oh,
upgrade,
hardware? The hardware?
the OS, when you
Mhm.
when they give you the updates for the OS, and if you
Okay.
if they will generally go with whatever device that you have. Now it won't
Right.
go way back, but it will
Right.
definitely. If you have the
It
Pro,
will be up to date.
correct, and you don't necessarily have to buy the latest and greatest iPad Pro, which I didn't. I opted to get
Right.
the keyboard instead, but TJ's version has some other little features that mine doesn't. I don't particularly for 3 cameras on my.
Okay.
I didn't need that,
Right.
but if I were going to be getting it, say I'm coming from 2nd generation, I would definitely go to 4.
Right. And see, I was on the 1st generation iPad Pro, so I hadn't updated in a while. So that's why we got the new ones, because we were still on the 1st one. So, but the subtle differences, between 3 and 4, the ones that we have, like the one that you have and the one we have, there's not that big of a difference. It's camera, the camera upgrades, and maybe a little bump with the processor, because they put a new chip every year. So if you got the 3rd generation, you don't have to run out and get 4. But see, I had 1. So I see a big difference between the 1st one and the 4th one.
And
on everything.
That processes everything in speed.
Responsive, yeah.
Everything. And I was like, ooh.
Yep. And the pencil, because with the 1st generation, with the pencil, it had the tip on it, and I dropped the pencil all the time, and the tip flew off, and then I lost it for a couple of weeks, and I couldn't find it, because you had to take the tip off to plug it, and it was awkward. Yeah, to charge it, you had to plug it into the lightning port. Yeah, and it was just awkward. So I was like, I hate the way they did that. So now the pencil just magnetically sticks to the side, which is cool. I like that. And then Fran has the Magic Keyboard, which I would love to have that one. But I mean, but there, you see where they're going with it. They're making it a replacement for the Air. And see, you don't even take your Air with you.
I haven't taken the Air with me. Now I understand there are some things I cannot do because this is considered a mobile device.
Right.
And because Apple has limited it, like Facebook, if I go in here to Facebook, even if I go on in the browser on Facebook and go into,
it's different.
It still treats it as a mobile device.
Right, because all the apps and all the programs on the mobile devices are written differently than the ones for the desktop. That's why. It's 2 sets of code and everything.
Right.
So that's why. And even though it feels like a laptop replacement, which it is, it's really truly close to it. It's still a device, like Fran said. So it has apps that work for mobile, which is different, totally different from desktop. Well, not totally different, but it's just a different way of, Fran said some things she can't do on the iPad, and you need,
because most of the things are running on apps.
Right.
Okay.
Everything, the iPad runs on apps.
Apps, yeah.
And just like a Chromebook runs on apps.
I was gonna say, it sounds like a Chromebook.
Right. It's okay. I'm just saying, this keyboard, it lights up. And I was like, oh my God, I can be in a dark room and work and not have to turn on lights to see the key.
Right.
And I was like, this is good. Now my Air does that too.
Yes.
I don't understand why my desktop doesn't do that. The keyboard that came with the desktop, I'm like,
it doesn't.
I was like, what is this? I can't come in here and just turn it on. I have to
turn the
and
light
trust
on.
me, the things that Fran and I were talking about, other Apple users are saying the same thing. It's not just us. So Apple's aware of that, but it's like with StreamYard, there's a lot of people, we want this, when I go in the group, we want this, we want that. I said, listen, they can only do one thing at a time. They can't give you every feature all at once. So
not only that, if they do everything at one time, now we have to go through a whole set of instructions and training, and you know what I mean? I like the fact that they do it gradually, so that you don't have to learn everything at one time.
Yeah. Now, Brenna has a comment.
Mm-hmm. She says,
she said, I thought I needed that many cameras for my gemstone photography. Not worth all the problems I've been having. I'm going to get an iPhone SE first, Apple for 99 cents to replace my 3-camera phone. Which camera phone, what 3-camera phone do you have, Brenna? Yeah, and I know there's going to be a delay on her response.
Yeah.
But what 3-camera phone does she have? Because if you have an iPhone 11 Pro, you shouldn't have to drop down to the SE. So I don't know if you have a maybe it's a different brand. I'm thinking. Anyway, I had so back to the keyboard here. It's amazing. The iPad 6, go ahead. Okay, got you. All right. I can't, you know better on that than I do, because that is not my world.
That's the Google. That's Google
phone. Okay.
Google Pixel. Yeah.
So the iPad sits, there's a magnet that holds the iPad here. And you notice I have it plugged down here.
Yes.
So on the other side, I can plug in a flash drive or any other adapter. So I don't have to have all my files on here.
Cool.
Nice.
Or I don't have to have them in the iCloud where you have to keep paying
down. Yeah. Yeah.
Storage. I can just have an external flash drive and put all my files over there.
Right.
That was one thing I'm like, okay, that's really good. I was able to edit footage, video footage. I can edit on here. Now, I went through, I went and asked questions. You Google everything. What's the best app for editing movies or video on iPad? And they talked to me about Adobe Rush, and I was like, okay, it's way too much. It was way too complicated for me. Adobe Premiere was complicated for me. TJ uses it, and I'm sure she's a pro at it. I'm just not doing Adobe Premiere.
Right. It's if you just need to do a little editing, you don't need Premiere.
No.
There's InShot, there's Video Leap, there's tons. There's tons.
Hey, Dr.
apps.
Where did you get your t-shirt? I am so jealous.
Hey, Ben Chili Bowl.
Yes, if you don't know what Ben's Chili Bowl is, it is a Washington, D.C. staple. I lived in D.C. for 9 years around the corner at Howard. And so this was a D.C. staple. And there was actually a Howard alum who sells these. I said, I have to have a Ben's Chili Bowl t-shirt. So if you want one, I'll get you the information.
Yeah.
See, these
I just saw the a feature on them the other day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. DC staple. It's like if you're looking for vegan or healthy food, that's not it, but you know.
Yeah. So, Dr. Tachi, we were talking, this is your area of expertise. We're talking about the iPad, and I have the new Magic Keyboard. I was specifically looking to edit video because I do programs for church, when they, the message or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need a software. And so I did my research and I tried out Adobe Rush because iPad does not, Final Cut Pro does not work. They don't have anything that works on the iPad. And I'm like, I don't understand that. You all own iPad. Why is there not something I could use? I have iMovie, but the iMovie does not allow you to do lower thirds and do some other stuff that I wanted to
Right.
do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like,
So, one thing that you have to understand is that Apple, for a while, they have had so much success in the consumer electronics arena that they have largely ignored the creative space, which is what, basically made them famous. Creatives use Apple, they use Macs to do what they do. And as such, they have not really, there has been no significant update to Final Cut in a long time. I don't even I don't use Final Cut anymore, simply because when I upgraded my computer, my old MacBook Pro, they were going to make me buy another. They said, this is no longer compatible. I said, oh, well, then you're no longer compatible with me. Hello, Adobe. So I know how to use Final Cut, but I exclusively Adobe. So how are you finding Adobe Rush?
I didn't like it.
Either.
The render time was weird, and then the pictures, and I'm on the iPad. I am not on the desktop. So when I put it in there, I'm like, why does that, when I put the characters in for the lower thirds, which lower thirds means text on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
And so I'm just said that for anybody who's like, what's a lower third? Anyway.
Yes.
It was pixelated. And someone said, well, it'll probably clear up after it renders.
Right.
Like, no, I need to see it before it renders. I don't want to go through that whole render process to find out that it didn't clear up.
Now, have you upgraded do you all have automatic updates for your iPad?
Yes.
Okay. So are you on the latest operating system?
Yes.
Okay. So, this is a terrible thing to say, but besides the fact that I can't be of very much help in this arena, I would say to contact, get on the forums and put that concern out there. Usually there is somebody in the Apple forums that will be able to tell you, because my first thought was, okay, we'll update your iPad and see if that clears up the problem. But then also, Rush, I have not, let me be honest, I have Rush, but I haven't used it because I always edit on my MacBook Pro. So I don't know what the little idiosyncrasies are for mobile devices. I think we also have to remember that they're mobile devices and they don't really do as well with these types of apps.
So I found an app because I went on there, apps for video on iPad. Found LumaFusion. LumaFusion. And I'm like, okay, let me see if it's going to be brain surgery for me to get in here and use it, first of all, because I was used to I'm used to iMovie. You drag something, put it over there, push, and it works. LumaFusion is pretty nice.
Oh, okay.
I can create the lower thirds. I can do everything I need to do. If I want to drag, I can drag the video from the file and put it right into the iPad. I can double tap it to make it do. I was like, oh, we found a toy here.
Huh.
Yeah, LumaFusion. It is very, very nice. And so I'm able to do that. And so I have not had to take my MacBook Air with me. I have been using my iPad Pro for the last 2-3 weeks. And 2 weeks with the Magic Keyboard.
That's good to know. Okay. People are always looking for new tools. Even if you're stuck on what you have, you're looking for new tools. So that there needs to be a Google Docs full of these types of resources. You know how Google Docs always make their way and float around. And for example, there is that's kind of news. I don't know why I'm saying, but there is a Google Doc that's floating around now with a list of Black, Indigenous, and women-owned creators. And it was created by a bunch of people, but one of the creators is Virgil Abloh, who is the creative director of Louis Vuitton and created Off-White. So that's a big Google Doc that's going around now. There needs to be a Google Doc for stuff like this.
Right. Because when I was looking, I'm like, I just want to do lower thirds. And iMovie wouldn't let me do lower thirds. I had to either have the whole thing and then iMovie on the desktop will let you do lower thirds, but not on the iPad.
Correct.
Right.
Okay, correct. Yeah, exactly. iPad.
I'm like, what? The whole idea is for the iPad to be where you don't need your computer.
Mm-mm,
Right.
mm-mm,
It's not quite there.
mm-mm,
It hasn't gotten there yet.
mm-mm.
Yeah. They got
And
a
will it
road
ever
to go.
get there? Will it ever get there? The thing is, it only gets there if consumers make enough noise. Because if there's no incentive for them to change the functionality of this, they won't. They although consumer electronics are a big thing for them, so
Right.
that could be something that's coming in the future. But again, editing is not something that every consumer does. So they
Right.
may not pay as much attention to it because it's not a huge quote need. Creatives, those of us that are creatives, we're chopped liver. Let's just be clear. We are chopped liver.
True.
But now I can go in here and I can use Ulysses as my tool that I use for writing, because I am writing a book and I don't want to lug around the air. I can take the iPad and and I'm talking about type like I was on the air.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
like, oh, this is nice. It folds up really nice. It just folds up.
So may I ask, how do you handle storage? You store in the cloud probably, but in terms of storing, do you do your projects and then like the video projects and then you store them in the cloud? Or do you
I can put it on a flash drive there's a flash drive, or I can put it on and put it in the cloud and then move it to my hard drive or whatever. But I have cloud storage. My goal is to not use the cloud. Because the cloud is there, but I'd rather have it where I have control over it.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that it's not a good place. I'm just saying, okay, it's mine. Keep it in my house. So I do have the iCloud, which I do like iCloud, by the way, because you can go from place to place to place. I can be on the desktop, I can go to the Air, or I can be on the iPad and still have access. But when I'm finished with it, or if I don't want to keep the original footage, I can put that on a drive.
Okay.
Okay.
So the iPad actually is, I'm like, I'm liking this. Again, it runs on apps. It does not run like the desktop or the Air. Totally
Absolutely.
different.
Right.
And
setup.
it gets outdated quite quickly. That's my only thing with being dependent on a mobile device like the iPad. Again, my iPad now is basically a fancy screen because I can no longer update it.
You have generation 1?
2.
Okay.
So they're done updating. They said 9 is as far as you can go. You must hitchhike the rest of the way. So,
and I had the Pro version 1, generation 1 Pro.
okay.
So when I started, I just decided I'm going to get the Pro because I needed more. I just needed it to do more than the other.
Right.
thing.
And it was a bigger device than the iPad, just the regular iPad.
Yeah, I needed something that I can work on.
Right.
And if I'm showing clients something, they can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And not the
right.
I was like, okay, I don't want that. So I got the bigger one. But as upgrade, 3 was out. It's a 2018 model. 4 is 2020. I didn't move. I just stayed with 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's happening in the world of social media?
Well, lots. Besides what's going on with what's going on in the world, there are other things going on. So we're gonna we've talked about that for the last 2 weeks. Let me bring up my notes. So Twitter has some things going on. They're trying to stay relevant. They 3 months ago they announced they were having something called their version of stories in the app called Fleets 3 months ago. So now they roll these updates or new things out in other countries. So today in India, they have rolled out Twitter's version of stories and they call it Fleets. I haven't looked at it yet because we're here in the US.
FLEETS.
Yeah, Fleets. Yeah, let me. There's a tweet from
Dr. Tati. Are you?
I don't like that nomenclature. We do know what fleet is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was like, thank you, Brenna. I'm like, what is fleet?
Fleet. So I don't like the name. It's like Instagram had the Reels. Remember, they were supposed to have a separate app called Reels. It's out in Brazil. That's supposed to be like TikTok, but like the naming.
Well, fleet is that stuff that you have to take before you go and get procedures done so that you're cleaned out. That's the first thing I thought of when I was like, fleet? Terrible.
And then on the other side of that, if you replace that T with a C.
Cleats?
Cleats?
Like, okay, you're taking something from people. Okay. I don't understand the name. Somebody did not think it through.
I don't know. But it's coming.
Fleece. I get it, not cleats.
FLEETS. Fleets.
Right.
Like the military.
Right. Like
the military fleets.
But
yes.
But I know what you were saying, Francine, in terms of to fleece someone.
Yeah. I don't understand fleets. It makes your brain has a time trying to wrap.
I think because they wanted it to be swift,
Swiftly stupid.
Swift.
Okay, because you got. Does it rhyme with tweets?
I don't know. The name is horrible.
Well, but why didn't you just call it streets out here in these Twitter streets? I can't.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna move on. We don't like the name. We'll see what Twitter does with stories. But
yes, Brenna. Because I'm like, y'all need to
fleet. Yeah.
Somebody needs to think about that because I think
it's a horrible name.
They were playing off the tweets.
I don't know.
Change
the name. Yeah, we're gonna move on.
Before we move off, you had Vine.
True.
We were good with Vine, and it was working. That was your stories. Didn't they have Vine too? Started with a B.
Bite.
Bite. They have Bite.
What happened to that?
They still have the app.
They do.
It's there. I have it on my phone.
What is it doing?
Hold on. Is anybody on it?
Hold on. Teenagers, Gen Z. It's there. It's like TikTok. It's like TikTok.
Yes.
Okay, but that's stories. So why are we not using Bite or Vine? And you got us going to Fleets. Okay.
Well.
Go ahead, Jen.
All right, so moving on to Facebook. Facebook has a new news section launched this week to have a focus on local stories. So you find a news section on your phone, you go to the hamburger menu, tap it, and there'll be a new item at the top that says news. And when you go to it, they've got curated news is basically what it is. So when I go to it, it says Good Morning Terry. It shows me some stories, and then at the top it says George Floyd protest local, and then I'm scrolling. It says suggested for you, science. So they got different topics at the top. So you can, like, if I want business news, I can tap business and it'll go and show me the business news. So they Facebook put that out this week.
And where is it? Do that again. Where am I going?
The hamburger menu on the phone at the bottom right. The three lines are that's called a hamburger menu. And when you tap it, you'll see under your name it says well, actually the first white square. That's what I'm seeing. It says news.
Have they rolled it out to everybody yet?
It may not have. They said they did, but let me go back and check.
Yeah, mine says good morning, Terralina.
Mm-hmm.
Top story.
Is there anything that says news?
Mm-hmm. Under news, yeah.
Right. The button is called news that you have to tap.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What it is that remember a while back, Facebook had a news section, and then conservatives got mad because they were saying that it was non-conservative news stories. So Facebook took it away. This was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It's been a while. So now they're bringing it back.
And I see that I have the opportunity to select local. And by it being local, I can
they're going to give you news based on your location that they curated.
Yeah.
Facebook.
And I can see where
and this is mobile only right now. Only.
Okay.
So the other news, it used to be you could go on your desktop and you would see a section that said top news, and there would be news stories, and you could click on it.
Okay. Can you all show us on because I'm not seeing news on my little.
Okay.
And may not be worthy of them yet. Let's see.
Okay. So I'm going to my
it's one of the white squares. It's the first.
Yeah,
here.
Square that says
news. Yeah.
Okay, maybe is it that you can pick the stuff that you want to put in there, maybe? And
no, this is curated by Facebook.
Okay, no, I meant the because I.
No, if you have it, you have it. I'm assuming because they rolled it out this week, so you may not have it.
I may not be worthy this week. Okay.
Well, I have it because when I hit my hamburger menu, this page comes up that says news. Y'all see that? Okay, and then when I hit here, it's there, and then up here it asks you, do I want the local news?
Okay.
Right.
So when I hit local, then it goes and it finds local stories, Fran. So of course, somebody in El Dorado County, Davis, surrounding areas to us, Terry.
Let's see what's different about this is before it's curated and it's a paid partnership with news organizations. Yes. But they had news before.
Yeah,
Facebook had a news section before, and they had to take it down.
Right.
They're bringing it back.
I just think it hasn't been out to me yet.
No, I don't think it's everybody, but it's rolling out this week. So I just happened to look today and I saw it, but I didn't look earlier this week to see.
Yes, and this is curated from our local news.
Right. Well, Facebook is curating all the news. So there's local news. There's a tab that says George Floyd protest. If you want to keep up with what's happening with that, there's business. There's tabs when you swipe to the left. There's different tabs of news and grouped by different topics that you're interested in. So I'm assuming that if you read a lot of business news, when you go back into the app and tap news, you'll see more business news because that's how a lot of other apps work. Google does that. Google will give you, when you go to Google on the mobile, on your phone, and you go to the Google app, the G, when you go there, there's a search button, of course, but then there's news below that. And so the more news you look at, like I look at a lot of business news. So when I go in there, I see business news. I don't see sports, is what I'm trying to say. So it will try to learn your preferences.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's just a little thing, Facebook. Now Snapchat now has voice commands to search for lenses. So if you want to have a lens, you're doing a selfie, and of course Snapchat was famous for the lens. They were the first app to come out with it, and then every other app took it. Hey, Facebook. So now instead of tapping or swiping, you voice command. You can say, "Hey Snapchat, make my hair pink," and it brings the pink filter or lens.
Cool.
So it's voice command. Now what's good about this is yes, it's for filters and lenses. But this is going to go further because they're integrating voice commands into Snapchat, just like if you have the A word, I'm not going to say, or you have the Google, one of the Google voice assistants. Yeah, you give voice commands. So Snapchat is moving into voice commands right now for that. But who knows what they're going to do with it from here on out? It's just going to grow into something something else voice command that you can do.
Well,
Okay.
okay. Are you going to talk about the minis?
The mini what?
Snapchat announces minis.
No, you could go ahead if you want. I haven't. Is that something new? I didn't see that this week.
No, but go ahead and finish. Are you finished though?
Yeah, it's just I just wanted to bring it up to have it called voice scan. And right now, you can, when you're taking a selfie or whatever in Snapchat, instead of using your finger, you use your voice. I'm just saying that. Yeah. So this is a kind of a way forward for apps. And Snapchat is like one of the first ones to say, okay, instead of picking the filter, which this is important to those who do selfies with the filters and the lenses, which is Gen Z. So they love it. So they can just hold the camera and say, do this, make my, give me that, give me glasses, give me this. And it's voice command through the app. So I love that.
Do you have to enable that, or is it just part of it?
No, I don't believe you have to enable it.
Something, and now you're able to just give voice command. That is so cool. I really
right.
Like
so it's called voice scan. So this is the instructions. When you press and hold the viewfinder, lenses related to what your camera is looking at are unlocked. To use voice scans, users press and hold and then ask for what they want. The example Snap gave in its presentation was make my hair pink. So they have in the article, they have a teenager or whoever, I'm not sure her age, but she has pink hair in her filter because she said, hey, Snapchat, make my hair pink. I haven't tried it yet. I will try it. I thought it was cool because of the way they're integrating voice commands now into the apps, which is, I'm just saying, get ready to see that in Facebook. For more than lenses. For more than lenses.
This is going to be very interesting. Well, the article I was looking at about Snapchat says that Snap announces minis to bring other apps into Snapchat so you can buy tickets.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Cards. You can meditate with third-party apps on Snapchat. It said Snap today announced minis, a suite of miniature applications made by third-party developers to run inside of Snapchat. Minis are
they must have just announced that today.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, me either. Awesome. Yeah.
It says the existence of minis was first reported last month by the Information. I don't know who they are.
It's a publication.
Thank you. Which likened them to mini programs that have turned WeChat into one of the most popular apps in China. The programs, which let users buy food, pay their bills, complete other tasks, generated, are you ready for this? 113 billion for WeChat last year, up 150% from the year prior, the Information reported. So these minis, Snap announced 7 minis to start with. And it says they include an app to coordinate your schedule at the Churchilla Music Festival, a mini version of Headspace to meditate and send encouraging messages to friends, movie tickets by Adam for choosing show times, picking seats and buying tickets, and Timbo, which lets students create flashcard decks for studying. So this is going to be interesting. I don't want to keep reading to you. I just want you to know that minis is out, and we should look for that. I went to the app. I didn't see anything that looked like it was part of the mini suite, but then I haven't been over there in so long I could hardly navigate. I need to go more often.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah, on and it looks, I'm in Snapchat, but this looks very much like Instagram stories. And
so it's there.
And
remember Snapchat was first with stories.
It just depends on where you go, because Instagram and Facebook also have stories, and so I'm like, oh, stories. Now I understand it better, but they were first.
Right.
May I talk about
Yeah.
really quickly, just to add into the whole stories thing? Stories are hugely popular, and to the point that most people aren't even bothered to calling them anything else other than stories. So,
Mhm.
you know, Facebook started it with like, we will call it stories. They don't even bother to change it that, you know, but they have that
Right.
much bravado. So I noticed I use Poshmark. I'm a Posher. I have a Poshmark closet. They have Poshmark stories now. And so you can
Mhm.
actually do some, they're not called snaps, but I'm using snaps.
Right.
And, you know, create stories, and you can actually not only tag people within the, you know, other poshers in the app,
Mhm.
but you can also tag your closet with listings and tag the quote designer. So
Right.
it's really interesting how everybody is jumping on this stories bandwagon because they work.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
huge.
this is one of I made a prediction on Ross, because Ross Brand does a yearly prediction. I think
Yes.
I did this in 2017. I gotta go check. And I was saying stories was going to be the biggest thing ever, and it is, because it's an easy way to create content without thinking. So
Right.
and you see every app picking up a stories or a snap feature. Get ready for LinkedIn if they haven't tested it already. They're gonna have a stories feature. So it's like you said, some people don't understand, but you have to realize that this where it comes from Snapchat. That's Gen Z.
Yeah.
So they
Snapchat
kind of
Yeah. And
like a
then
wave.
I don't think I want to see that.
Yeah, the
Where?
TikTok on
See what?
LinkedIn is supposed to be professional.
Oh, no. See, that's the deal.
LinkedIn stories. I don't want to see
A
that.
part of Link. I'm going to tell you now. LinkedIn is in, and I've heard this from several people online, and I'm seeing it for myself, that LinkedIn is starting to slowly become Facebook like, instead of strictly, but with a business bent. If you understand what I'm saying, the way that the app is functioning, because when I've had a LinkedIn account for a long time, I didn't even know how long I had it. I wasn't using it because back then when I set mine up, it was for getting a job, putting your
Right.
resume up, and it's no longer that anymore. It's more Facebook like in the fact of you posting what's on your mind. It can be business related, but there's a lot of people on LinkedIn that are not talking about business at all.
Really?
There's a couple of people. There's someone I can't remember her name, and I can't find her on LinkedIn, that she does other stuff. Like she's on there with green hair. She talks. I can't remember what her name is, but when I find it, I'm going to link it. That she's on there and she's got tons of followers. She's not talking about anything business at all. Not at all. And she's got tons of engagement. And also LinkedIn, when you post something, I think I saw something from Dr. Tatya like a week ago, and I just liked it today. It just showed it to me today. So it's going to the part where you're putting up stuff and sharing messages, and it could be old to you, but new to a person coming and checking in LinkedIn. So it's moving away from networking for jobs. That's still a part of it, but it's moving towards content. That's where every app is going, because they want you to use it. LinkedIn wants you to be on the app.
I can see LinkedIn being a place for business content.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What, you know?
No, it's moving beyond that.
Yeah, but I think I would go there for, you know.
Yes, you go there for it.
Business content, not just necessarily whatever. Here's my lunch today.
And it depends on who you following, because I'm following a lot of new people that they're talking about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and the protests. And that's all they're talking about. And there's other people that are telling them, oh, LinkedIn is for networking. I'm like, no, it's not anymore. That's 2007.
Well, you know,
2009. But
exactly. I think that's part of the thing, that even if the platform moves on, the people on the platform, it takes them longer to catch on that this is happening. And so that's why I'm like, it's happening, but that's why I'm scared for these stories, because I'm just like,
well,
I'm wondering.
I'm not afraid, because it's still going to be business with a business bent, but there's going to be, because they've already, some people, I read a story, I got to find it, that the trolls that were on not LinkedIn, Twitter, that was, doing all the hate, they're moving on to LinkedIn. They're on there too. But I'm not following those people, so I don't see their stories. So really, it's like who you're following.
Well, you know what, and that's the thing where LinkedIn to me it has so much potential beyond just the business space into other spaces. The problem is sometimes this search and discovery. So that's been my biggest thing with LinkedIn Live.
Yeah,
it's great, but the search and discovery is terrible. I don't know.
It is.
I'm not just going live necessarily for the people I follow or that are following me, because I don't follow everybody. And you have to accept people to you need to be strategic with LinkedIn. And so that's kind of counterproductive when you have content that you want everybody to see.
Right. So I think that's where the stories feature is going to be helpful, because like you said, when you do a live, it may have a tool like Facebook has a tool that lets you clip your live after it's live. You can take clips out and put it on your page and stuff. So I'm hoping LinkedIn will do that, to where you do your live and then you can clip the best part of it or the part you want to feature, upload it to your story. That's public. And then people that don't know you see the story and go see the rest of the video.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping that it works.
We shall see, Grass.
We will see.
I want to interject something in here. I heard Dr. Tachi uses Poshmark.
Yes.
Okay, Brenna, get on Poshmark. Your jewelry and things that you have with Ariana's products and stuff, get it over on Poshmark.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they've opened some new categories. So there is a home category. So for, like the products and whatever, you could definitely have those on there. And then they just opened, before you weren't allowed to do like bath and body products and personal care products. Now you can. So they're opening new categories. So it really is a great marketplace for things.
It really is. I have a store over there. I just haven't been over there.
Oh, I was like, I need to be following you then. I didn't know.
I have to come follow you, because I was like, I see, if you don't know what Poshmark does, then Dr. Tachi can explain more, because I haven't been in there. You can take clothing, like I got all these handbags over here that are literally not used.
Right.
Put them up, load them up over there and sell them on Poshmark. Or brand new shoes or what have you. And I was like,
Exactly. I mean, that's how it started for me. Side note is that I was like, I'm not wearing any of these things anymore. Let me see if I can sell them. So whereas before I would have taken them to a thrift store, but now I'm like, let me sell them and see what I could do. And it has been
the thrift store.
Say again?
I'm the thrift store now.
Exactly. I'm the thrift store now. And in fact, I'm also a reseller. So I source and sell as well. So I've got a combination of different stuff, pre-loved stuff, new stuff. And it's just a lot of fun for me. And because my initial thing was to go into the fashion industry, which is what I told you all. My Nigerian parents had other plans. So, I did the other things, but, I've come full circle back into fashion now. So, yeah, get on Poshmark. Absolutely.
Yes, Poshmark is nice. And I remember watching the story. This girl was in Manhattan and she would go and go to the secondhand stores, buying stuff, $5 dollars, take it and put it on Poshmark and get paid $60. I was like,
multiple streams of income. This chick knows about this.
Yes.
And it was. You have to, anything you do, you still have to work it. Go ahead.
Exactly. All right, I got one more story, which is what I was playing with at the top when Fran was doing her this weekend tag, which I was listening and still playing. So, Adobe Photoshop has introduced a new camera app that has AI editing features in it that helps people to do filters and selfies and things that you may feel like you need help with and you don't know how to do it. So it's called Photoshop Camera. I was playing with it while we were at the top of the hour, so I put it on my Instagram stories. Let me see if I can show one. So I did two. Let me see if I can get it to come. That's one. That's one I did.
Oh.
And hold on. Now that's not the biggest thing is because it's got new backgrounds. That's not really. Hold on. That's not. Here's the other that I was doing. So the big thing with this, and I'm reading from the App Store. So it's a mobile first for consumers who want to share and stand out on social. It's an intelligent camera app that provides a fun and easy way to use Photoshop Magic at Capture to share unique and imaginative high quality images on social in seconds. Unlike native phone cameras and third-party apps, Photoshop Camera uses the Adobe Sensei to make automatic quality corrections and an ever-expanding library of magic lens and effects. So now I went in and I did a selfie with the filters, but there's much more there. I believe it helps you to edit. You know, when you're outside, you could change the background. If you're inside, you could change like here. I could change the background to things, but you've seen that in Zoom and everything. So they have a separate app. So you go to the App Store and you type in Photoshop Camera, and it's there. So I thought it was really cool. I was just playing with the surface, but the big deal is that it uses AI to do the work for you, is what they're saying. That hold on, okay. Okay, it's the company's artificial intelligence system called Sensei, which automates the editing process for novice users who don't have hours to spend on a photo or years to learn and master a piece of software as complex as Photoshop. So it has multiple lenses, intelligent software, and it lets you edit more than, okay, it's a filter or a lens and you take it and you upload it. You can do much more with it. And I was just playing around, but there's much more stuff. So that came out, I think, today or yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome, because Photoshop is cumbersome.
It is. It really is. And
so then, it's not yet video, not yet, Christy, but who knows? They may add this.
Because now Photoshop has to do something, because Canva just came in and just swooped up some stuff and said, look, come over here and be creative without all the drama that goes with Photoshop.
Right. So they're trying to make an easy camera app that you don't have to learn how to you don't have to be a Photoshop expert to cut out the background or to do this or to do that. It has the AI built into the app. So try it out. See how you like it. I was just playing around.
The name of the app again?
Yeah.
Photoshop Camera.
Photoshop Camera.
Just type in Photoshop Camera.
Nice. And I want to mention something. I went over here to TJ's Instagram account. I like the little buttons on the bottom. She's gonna have to I'm gonna have to schedule a session with you. Grow, new, strategy, grow, news.
Oh, my highlights. Those are my highlights.
Crazy. And in each one of them, there's things that I can, strategy, tell your story. And there's little explain, because I'm like a genius right here.
So I mean, there's a lot, and we said this before, there's a lot of stuff in Instagram that people are like, what is that? What do you do? So if you go to some people's profile page on Instagram, you will see icons in those little circles. And I'm like, the icons don't really tell you what it is. So I'm like, I'm going to put words on mine. And all it is that you make, you use Canva, you can use whatever a photo editing creation app on your phone. You make a story size image, and then you just put that thing in the middle. Just make sure it's in the middle, and then you just upload it like a story and then add it as the cover to your highlight. But see, I was thinking, I'm like, I want mine to be like, okay, I don't want people to guess what this is. I want them to know what it is. And I use words instead of pictures. But that's, I'm not putting anybody down, but that's what people most have. They have pictures.
Okay.
Wow. Little stuff on here, just, plan before you post, and other little things. I was like, oh.
You didn't know that TJ is the bomb? Just in case.
Oh, I knew. I was like, oh, I
see. And see, I'm glad you brought that up, because see, when I do things, I'm not thinking, I'm like, okay, I got to tell other people how to do it. That's why I'm working on some stuff. And Tara-Lene and I talked about it on Tuesday. I'm still working on it, where I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. But I do it, and I don't even think about like your reaction frame. I don't even, yeah. So I gotta slow down myself and go, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But it would just occurred to me, like, I want people to know, don't make people guess when they go to your Facebook page or they go to your Instagram or they go to TikTok. Let them know exactly what you're trying to say, and make it simple.
And you did that. I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, some people have icons and little things and little squiggly thing. I'm like, what the heck is that? I can't read it. And then sometimes they use a font that's not cursive, fonts that are fancy.
Have a lot of
swirls.
Yeah, you like when you try
calligraphy. That's word.
Yeah.
And you can't read it. It looks pretty, but you can't read it. What good is that? It looks pretty, but I don't know what you're trying to say. So
versus
my approach.
Yeah,
that's just my approach. But that's what other people do, and I'm like, I'm not going to do icons because that doesn't. And then you can put the word under the icon, but it's small and people can't read that. So here we remember this. If I got to figure it out, I'm not going to figure it out. I'm going to go.
Oh, I like that. If I got to figure it out, I'm going to figure it out.
Going.
That is the text. That is the tweet of the day. If I got to figure it out, I'm
going. I know. What is that? But I don't have time. Bye.
No, that's so funny because that's exactly the first thing I thought. I don't have time for this.
Yeah,
and I just leave. So you really have to make things as easy as possible.
Yes. Make it simple. It may look pretty to you. Oh, this looks so good. Oh, my logo. And I'm like, well, I can't read that. What's the purpose of it looking pretty? I can't read that. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out what you're trying to say to me. Make it plain. Keep it simple.
Exactly.
Because again, you want to be stoppable when people are scrolling through. You want people to feel like, oh, and read.
Ain't nobody. Who's that said that ain't nobody got time for that? Yeah, the meme.
Right. The meme.
I got time for that. And that's as a business. I'm saying as a business owner, that's what you put all this effort into this or that and the other. Make sure it's functional for the other person you're trying to reach. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, so play with the Photoshop camera. It looks really neat. It's got some fun stuff. Once you make the photo or do whatever you want, you can send it to Instagram. That's what I did. Or you can send it to Facebook, or it's got the share feature in there. And you can save it to your camera roll and then go to the app if you want to upload that way. So, and video, Christy, I'm expecting that soon. Because Adobe has Russian to Premiere, and Spark Video. They got Spark Video too.
Oh, I like Spark.
Yeah, Spark.
Yeah. So
Spark also has that. Well, not on the video.
The animated.
They have the ability for you to remove the background. You were talking about removing background. They just added that. So,
and see, it comes from they bought the Sensei app, the AI. So they probably put a little bit of it over there too.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
That's right. Watch acquisitions. That lets you know what's coming next with an app or whatever.
Yeah.
Also watch not just acquisitions of companies, but who goes from what company to what company, who goes where when it comes to administration. That lets you know the direction that people are going as well.
That's right. You're absolutely right, Dr. Tachi is right. So play with that, have fun. I will be doing that later, and I use my my iPad because I didn't want to use my phone because I'm starting to download stuff to that iPad. I mean, it goes both ways. I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to transition to using it instead of picking up my phone. Christy says Spark Video. Adobe has some other apps called Spark Post, Spark Video, and Spark Page. That Adobe Spark is like Canva. It's not kind of like. It's like Canva that lets you create graphics for social media or your website or whatever you're trying to say in your message. It lets you create a graphic image for it. So look at
Spark is actually less convoluted than Canva is. I like Canva too, but Canva has a lot of moving parts. Spark is this, then this, then this. So it's very
simple. Canva's trying to capture that business crowd. That's why they want you to go pro, and they got all the tools in pro. So they're trying to capture that small business, entrepreneur, business account crowd. So, but try it out. It's Adobe Spark. You just
I'm gonna
type
have
in
to
Adobe Spark.
take a look at Spark again
Yeah,
to go with it.
yeah.
Uh,
So it's a, and that's it. I'm done.
Dr. Tachi,
Hello.
because if we let Terry loose right now, we're gonna be here a minute. So let's get Dr. Tachi.
I look.
Yeah, it
Look,
is.
she like,
That's what I had to say about Snap Mini because I want to hear what's going on in media. There's a
Yeah.
lot going on over there.
oh yeah.
Hey. All right. Well, I'll just briefly tell you some things. HBO Max debuted. They have topped
Oh.
1.7 million downloads in 2 weeks,
Really?
according to Forbes. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't seem like a whole lot, but in 2
Mhm.
weeks for all the other platforms that are out there, I think that's a
Mhm.
lot. I think, though, we're
It
getting
is.
the carryover from the COVID-19 and people. So
Yeah.
what's going to be the true test as to who stays around is after this. I'm not going to say blows over, but
The
after
shelter in place.
the shelter in place
The place is
exactly
over.
starts
Mhm.
to lift, how many people still maintain that? And not only after the shelter in place starts to lift, but next year after
2021.
right next year
Yes.
after all the people who had the free year of the Apple TV and then the free year of Disney Plus, after
Mhm.
that is over, this is going to be the true test of who actually stays around. So that is something that is interesting to see with that on the TV end as well. What happened?
What?
I don't know. You're good.
Yeah, no.
No, her notes. Her notes.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, what happened?" There was there was something that I was wanting to tell you. Okay, I'll pull it back up. It just disappeared. But Byron Allen, he had a racial discrimination case against Comcast. Well, yeah, so he's dismissed his racial discrimination case against Comcast. It was dismissed on lower level courts. Then it went to a higher court. They did not find. I think the thing here was that he had to prove that racial discrimination was the reason or sole reason for for Comcast not carrying his channels. In case you don't know, Byron Allen owns the Weather Channel. Plus, he also owns stations like Pets.com and Pets.tv and Cars.tv. So he has a lot in his portfolio. So he was alleging that there was racial discrimination and racial bias involved in Comcast not carrying his content in certain markets. So anyway, they have they've entered a carriage agreement according to the Wrap. And this is also going to include the distribution of comedy.tv, recipes.tv, justicecentral.tv, on X1, which is Xfinity, which is owned by Comcast. It's a video on demand and TV everywhere app. So we'll see what this actually means and how it pans out. But the initial conversation is they've entered a carriage agreement. And for those who don't know, carriage agreement is when a over-the-top platform and or something like a cable platform agrees to carry channels or networks from certain individuals. So, yes. Where's that damn other thing that I wanted to talk about? It just like disappeared and it was so weird. But I'll say this really quickly. And the NAB show, the National Association of Broadcasters, there's an NAB show New York. Okay. They have now switched to a virtual conference. So NAB Show New York was supposed to happen in November. It happens every November. They've realized, look, and it's New York City. You're there. You already know it's going to be another 2 years before we see things actually some semblance of safe.
Oh, I'm not even thinking about. People are like, oh, when we going to get back to normal in New York? I'm like, take that out your mind.
It won't.
The whole virtual world is here, people. It is not going anywhere.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is just the latest in the slew of virtual conferences that are happening. Aha!
Right.
I found what I needed to find. So if you're looking, the same thing has happened with Coachella. Well, actually, no, Coachella is not virtual. They've canceled altogether. They were going to have it later in the year, I believe October or November, but they said we're just canceling together all this year. Smart, my friends. Why is anybody trying to have anything this year? Throw 2020 away. Sorry, throw it away.
They bought into the hype that it's going to blow over.
Okay, now how did that work for you? The thing is, it could be worse if you continue with the foolish mindset that this will blow over, because people won't have believed that it blows over, and it may affect how many people register for your conference. Sorry.
But you see, this is the whole Disneyland syndrome. You know, the people see Disneyland opening up and they figure it's all good.
It's not.
Okay,
But I want you to know it's a fantasy.
Okay, Disneyland,
just
where?
like Disney.
Over across China, some or on the other?
No.
No, Disneyland.
Florida.
And
Florida,
Disney
right?
World is looking at opening. But I'm like,
Hey, California ain't open yet.
Say what?
The one in California,
Yes, they're opening up in California.
Disneyland, like in LA.
Yes, like you got to stand apart, people, and it's by reservation. I'm just saying it's by reservation, and the whole 9 yards. Let me Google this stuff, y'all talking.
Because Disneyland is not like where you're gonna not be next to people.
And like you're not going to ride the ride right behind somebody. I'm just saying.
Are they going to give everybody a bubble to walk in around the park? I mean, that's
that
the way
could be a
I'm
ride
going.
in and of itself.
You have to have a reservation, so they're going to limit the number of people, but they are opening up.
You know, I don't care if you only have two.
Here it is.
Two people.
Disneyland plans for phased reopening. Downtown Disney District, July 7th. Disneyland Adventure Park, July. Did you hear that? Adventure Park, I believe that's LA. July 17th, Disneyland Grand California Hotel and Spa. I've stayed there. It's beautiful, but I wouldn't be touching nothing up in there. July 23rd. So yes, sweetie, California Disneyland.
If I don't see people
When
with a
people
bubble,
heard that yesterday, they was, oh well, you know, if Disney, it's all
Don't do that.
it's all good.
By
Because
yourself.
I don't even know if California, did the governor give us phase 4 or something? Because that
no.
we
I don't
haven't
think
phase 4 or phase 3 even. I know we're in phase 2, but not 3.
All I know is that they're over here, and they were talking about it on the air yesterday.
Listen, the nail salons are not open. So how can Disney?
Listen, the nail salons do not have the same pool as Disney. Okay.
Well,
Listen,
I'm like, y'all ain't
if
got
they want to go, let them go.
wow.
Bye.
you know, the problem is then these individuals go and infect places
True.
that you actually have to go, like the grocery store. And these are the same idiots who don't want to wear masks and who march against masks and all of that. I'm tired of the selfishness more than anything else. It is not just about you. And the problem is, in the United States, we tend to be a very individualistic culture. In pockets,
very selfish.
we are collective and about the whole, but then we go right back to our selfishness when nobody is looking.
Mhm.
It's not about you. It's the fact that you can infect someone that can't handle the virus. So stop it. Stop being
I know.
selfish.
I mean, remember, people have to travel there. People come from all over the world to come to Disneyland.
And
And
is
they
that
get back on the
necessary?
plane and take it home.
Is it life and death that your behind be at Disney? Will
these
you
people need their own
die if you
country.
don't go?
They need their own country where they can. If you want to walk around without a mask, that's the go to mask free world, country, state, or whatever. That's what they need.
There is one. It's called Mars, and it's named after
need to
Elon
go.
Musk's
They need to
daughter.
You
Yeah.
send them there.
On Mars, I am not going.
They're actually angry because they have to wear a mask in a store or a place.
Because
And-
it's
and here-
selfishness.
Right,
That's
and here
very
Governor
selfish.
And Cuomo here said every business has the right to to make their rule, and like if you don't wear a mask, you can't come into the store. He made it a executive order.
Look, the people said, look, I went into the store the other day, and they said, okay, you can. Okay, one, they were limiting you have to wait until somebody else comes out. Then
Right,
you can
right.
go in. And then they said, okay, pick up your gloves. You had to come in with a mask. Then you had to pick up some gloves, little plastic gloves that you do your hair
And
with.
put on, yep, and put those on.
Gloves that the little cheap ones, but gloves. Now you can come in and shop.
And that's, hey, I love it. I'll be there. Everybody got a mask and glove on.
It's about the public good.
Thank you.
I always make sure that I have, if not goggles, glasses on too, like sunglasses, like that are sheer, because I'm like, that's your eyes too. So I'm always
True.
covered up. I'm just tired of the selfishness.
I am too.
So this is the last thing that I have. So you were talking about Snapchat, and that's why I wanted to bring this up. So Snapchat has unveiled a slate of new original programming. 10 new original shows they unveiled actually just yesterday. And they announced content deals with several partners, including Disney, who we were just talking about, NBC Universal, CBS, Viacom CBS, the NBA, and the NFL. I don't know what the hell the NBA and the NFL are going to do. You're not doing anything right now, but eventually I'm sure they will. So they also introduced a breaking news feature called Happening Now.
I'm looking at it now.
No, that's in partnership with the Washington Post, Bloomberg, and ESPN. So in case you're wondering how many users Snap has, currently 229 daily active users.
Right.
229 million.
Yes.
And they love Snapchat, and they love it. They love it.
So and these people, they may have started on there, and they're growing up, and Snapchat is growing up with them to keep the content with them. Right.
So I went into Snapchat while you were talking, Tachi, and you tap the Discover tab, and then it pops up right at the bottom with the news item you were saying. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Snap is trying. I think they got a little gully and rested on their laurels for a minute, which is how other apps were able to come in and steal that shine, namely, like Instagram. But I think they're trying to refocus and re-identify who their audience is. So that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. And they don't have to have 2 billion users to be successful. It's okay. Facebook got 2 billion, good, but is everybody using it every day? Are they happy with it? No. Same thing with Instagram. Nope. There's a lot of dissent going on now. Oh, Instagram, this and that. Snapchat people, they're on Snapchat and they're happy. Now, they weren't happy when they did the redesign, but they've kind of forgotten about that because they still use the app.
Right.
So, and Dr. Tachi is right that who was it? Evan, what's his seat?
Evan Spiegel.
Right. So he's getting back to what works for the app, what works for the audience, keeping the audience happy, and forgetting about Facebook and their 2.4 billion users.
So those are vanity metrics. So when we talk about the amount of users, all of those are vanity metrics.
Are they active?
Are they active? Yeah. Even if they are active, are they actively doing the things that are going to put them in front of the advertising content that you are so desperately trying to get them to see? Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. The problem is the advertising industry has not moved very much past eyeballs are what matters. So that's why they're like, oh, well, how many followers? How many daily active users? That's not what matters, my friends. It matters to an extent, obviously, but that's not the most important thing. So we'll see. That's what I have.
It's just say don't write Snapchat out. Don't do that.
No, they're writing themselves out. They didn't leave. Some people think Snapchat is over.
No. Those aren't users. Those aren't users of the app. Those are people. And those journalists, tech journalists that just they hear something and they go with it instead of investigating the story for themselves. Like, oh, this is that, or that is that. I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're just writing a story for clickbait.
Yeah, it's like, which do you want? Do you even use Snapchat?
Listen, Gen Z
Yeah.
uses it. Millennials use it.
They do. They actually will pick it up and they. I
They
have.
use it.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get my profile picture on there because they won't only
Right,
allow
the Bitmoji.
a bit more.
Bitmoji.
Yeah, it wasn't like that before. I don't
No,
know why
before
they-
you could have you could have your
a photo. Yeah, just take a
photo.
photo.
or your photo inside of the snap code.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right. I don't
Not
know why they changed it.
They want you to have a Bitmoji. I'm like, no, I'm good.
No thanks.
Well,
That is all I have.
Dr. Tachi, do you have anything else for us today?
No, that's all I want. There's a lot of stuff, but that's all I wanted to put
Yes.
out there today.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a lot of stuff, guys. I suggest that y'all go over there and check it out. Because we could go down a lot of rabbit holes this morning. But
Yeah.
time does not permit.
Thank you. And we just want to say hi to everybody. Mark, good to see you and
Yeah,
hear
good to
from
see you.
Mar.
Here he is. He says, depending on the next election, I might be open to Mars. He might insist on it. And
We might have to go
Brenda says, okay,
colonization.
let's go.
Yeah, we're talking about the people in Disneyland. They need to go to Mars. I'm like,
Colonization.
Yep. And then Brenda's closing with Trump.
Jump.
Okay.
Yeah.
well,
Yes.
On that note, we just want to remind you, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. We'll see you Monday. Fran, is there anything else you want to share?
no, that's it for right now. I think that's enough. We got to digest this. We need to go take a walk around the block. And let this
Yes. And if you want to join Biz Chicks, just text Biz to 3777. And
yeah.
here we are. I'm going to show this. Let's see.
Okay, because I'm, yeah.
We want to thank you. Thank you, ladies, for joining us this morning. We want to thank everybody who came in and joined in the conversation. Please share this out on the replay. We love you, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, wait. Tara, did you push the button?
Yes, I did. I'm pushing the red.